What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford, and his team, they respond to his rival, undefeated, unified, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered to be top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in ERROL the Truth Spence Jr., and the fight that he has been anticipating securing against legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence, well, they announced that they will be fighting against each other August 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada. With that said, Terence Crawford, we know, has been trying to secure a showdown with Manny Pacquiao for the better part of 6 years and was unable to fulfill that. We know most recently Bob Arum, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, he stated that there was a possibility that we was going to see Terence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao November 14th, but Bob Arum, he said that fell through due to the fact that the investment groups overseas in Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia or in Dubai, it fell through due to the global pandemic and due to social distancing and not having any fans allowed to attend. They did not want to lose a return on their investment. So Bob Arum previously stated that he blocked the Manny Pacquiao fight from Terence Crawford because he stated that he didn't want to pay Manny Pacquiao the $20 million plus $20 million plus he was looking for. And he was a friend of Manny Pacquiao's, and Manny Pacquiao was in advanced age and advanced stage of his career. And he didn't want to see Manny Pacquiao get hurt because he knew how the fight would end. So Bob Arum, he admitted that he blocked the fight. And then he most recently stated that it was a possibility that it was going to be a huge announcement for Terence Crawford for pay-per-view, with Terence Crawford on pay-per-view June 5th against Manny Pacquiao, and that fell through. So let's just listen to a little snippet of what Team Crawford had to say.
That they got it against us. Like I said, you got Bob Arum against us. So you got a powerful white man against you. You got a powerful black man against you. You know?
So they saying that Bob Arum is against them, okay? And Al Heyman, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions founder and advisor, is against Terence Crawford. So they're saying that the field is against them, the deck is stacked against them, and that Terence Crawford is not being allowed to have these showcase fights. And he says that Manny Pacquiao is against him and avoiding him. And he says that Errol Spence, who stated that if he wanted to, that being Terence Crawford, a showdown with Errol Spence stated that, you know, give me a 60-40 in my favor, and we can make the fight happen. Errol Spence stated that, you know, I'm doing all the heavy lifting. The numbers don't lie. Look at the pay-per-view numbers. He did 3 straight back-to-back pay-per-view numbers, in which he did against 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. That did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. Then he fought against 2-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, and that did 325,000 pay-per-view buys. And then most recently, he faced off against 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion, former WBC welterweight world champion, Danny Swift Garcia, superstar boxer, and that did a reported 315,000 pay-per-view buys after Errol Spence had suffered a horrific car accident just 12 days after unifying the belts against Shawn Porter and was out the ring for 14 months, and that did 315,000 pay-per-view buys. With that said, Terence Crawford has done 2 pay-per-view events in which he did so against Victor Postyle, in which it did combined 60,000 pay-per-view buys. And then he did a second pay-per-view against Amir Khan, multi-division world champion, British superstar boxer, and it did 150,000 pay-per-view buys. So a reported 150,000 pay-per-view buys. So with that said, that's a combined 210,000 pay-per-view buys in 2 combined fights, where Errol Spence, you can pick either which one, just one of his pay-per-views, and it's done. The least is the fight with Danny Garcia at 315, So that's 105,000 more pay-per-view buys in one fight in his least pay-per-view successful event than Terence Crawford did. So with that said, Errol Spence said, give me a 60-40 split. I'm doing all the heavy lifting, and we can make it happen. Well, Terence Crawford was not budging. He said it had to be 60-40 in his favor, 50-50 at the very least. And then he started to say that fight is in the rearview mirror. But he had his sights set on bigger plans, which was the fight between himself and Filipino icon superstar boxer Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. But we see that fight with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford fell through. As Bob Arum, he reported at one point in time that they had a $50 million offer for Abu Dhabi, and that Manny Pacquiao upped his standard of 20 to 25 million to 40 million. He then asked for $40 million to stage the fight, and that Terence Crawford would get 10 million. And Bob Arum said that Terence Crawford was willing and able to take just the 10 million to stage the fight. And again, Bob Arum comes out and he states that the investment group fell through. They pulled out because they fear they won't get a return on their investment. Bob Arum also stated that he's lost so much money on Terence Crawford that he could build a mansion in Beverly Hills from scratch. Well, that goes to show why the investment group may have looked at Terence Crawford's numbers and may have stated, well, this is not going to be a success. Manny Pacquiao is going to carry the fight, his namesake, his star power, his legendary power, and that's not enough to get enough return for our investment. So Bob Arum stated that they pulled out. Now, Terence Crawford, he re-signed with Top Rank twice, 2 times over. Terence Crawford is going to be a free agent come October, but Terence Crawford only has Terence Crawford to blame for the way he's being promoted by Top Rank and Bob Arum. Because even after Bob Arum stated that he's lost money on Terence Crawford, even after Bob Arum stated that Terence Crawford is difficult to negotiate with, even after Bob Arum stated that he was going to wash his hands of Terence Crawford, well, Terence Crawford, he came out and he says he doesn't place any blame on Bob Arum. He placed blame on the PBC fighters, the PBC, and the fighters themselves not wanting to fight him. Okay, so he said that Bob Arum is a good guy, and he knows that Bob Arum is trying to make all the big fights for him and his career. Well, once again, we have to debate that, because Bob Arum let it be known that the number one objective on Terence Crawford's career, as Terence Crawford, when he did the special Relentless with Andre Ward, retired Hall of Famer, undefeated, former pound-for-pound king, 2-division world champion, when he sat down and Andre Ward asked him, what's your objective? He says he hadn't secured a high-profile fight against a high-profile fighter and a Hall of Famer and a legendary fight, and he's looking to do so, and his number one objective was to secure that fight with Manny Pacquiao. And Bob Arum, he stated he blocked the fight. So how could Terence Crawford state that he feels that Bob Arum is doing everything in his power to make the biggest fights for him and his career, when Bob Arum clearly let it be known that he blocked the fight, that he prevented the fight from taking place? Okay, he's clearly stated that he blocked the fight.
The success because I didn't have to pay for it. I mean, but if I put up 20 or 25 million for Manny Pacquiao, I would be nursing my wounds, having lost a lot of money.
So you heard Bob Arum. He said that if he put up $20 to $25 million for a Manny Pacquiao fight with Terence Crawford, he would be nursing his wounds because he would have lost a lot of money. This is what Bob Arum had to say, okay? So you're going to clearly hear Bob Arum when asked about him fighting Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao. He already said that he didn't want to pay the money. Man, he didn't feel like the fight was worth $20 to $25 million, him dishing out for a purse just solely for Manny Pacquiao. Now imagine, that's just the purse for Manny Pacquiao. He would have to at least pay $10 million to Terence Crawford. So he's looking for at a $35 million purse alone. That's not, putting on the event in itself, okay? That's just the purse in it. That's just the purses amongst both fighters, the 2 top fighters on the card. He still has to pay for undercard fighters. He still has to pay for the event. He still has to secure the venue, and Bob Arum doesn't see that he can get a return on his investment with a Terence Crawford Manny Pacquiao fight. He clearly made that abundantly clear and yet Terence Crawford just refuses to acknowledge that Bob Arum just does not want to make the fight. He clearly states that the money, he don't feel like the money is worth dishing out, and now he's going to let you know he clearly blocked the fight.
Well, I killed the fight. Yeah.
There it is. So he said he blocked the fight, okay? And he let it be known that the reason that he did so, he just don't think that it's worth the money to dish out for a Terence Crawford Manny Pacquiao fight. He don't believe he could get a return for an investment in that fight. He does not believe that that's a big fight. He does not believe that it will be supported in the manner that most hardcore boxing fans believe, because we clearly view Terence Crawford in the light that maybe Bob Arum doesn't. So there you have it. But Terence Crawford, he continues to one day say, now he's saying that it's Bob Arum who's against him, but then he'll say after Bob Arum publicly made a statement, but then he'll apologize for Bob Arum. So you can't have it both ways. October, he'll be a free agent. He also had the opportunity to fight two-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Showtime Sean Porter, but he continues to maneuver around Sean Porter, tell Sean Porter, well, if a fight between me and Manny Pacquiao don't pan out, then I'll revisit the possibility. He told him that in August of 2020. He never revisited the possibility in November when Manny Pacquiao was clearly not going to be the choice of opponent. And then when June 5th fight, according to Bob Arum, fell through, and Sean Porter called him out publicly and said that the fans were hungry for this fight, let's feed them. Terence Crawford responded, now you're testing me, just stay on standby. If my plans fall through, I'll revisit. Well, here, your plans fell through, and clearly Bob Arum states that Terence Crawford would rather sit on the shelf until the fall to wait for tonight's winner at junior welterweight undisputed showdown between Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. So Terence Crawford not asserting himself either. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. October, he'll be a free agent. Let's see if he resigns. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure you hit the like button. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hi, my name is Heather the Heat Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.